Hello, BookTube. This is Aaron from Aaron Read a Book or Aaron Read a Book. Uh, Doing Friday reads today. Um, this is the second time I've filmed this because my mic kept dying, and it took me ages to realise that you're meant to charge the receiver as well. So this whole time, my mic receiver's been like dying, which explains a lot. First, let's go through the books that I've bought this week. First of all, we have a BookTube inspired book, which is The Extraordinary True Story of My Year in Space, Endurance, by Scott Kelly. I saw this on Bookends and Biscuits channel, and she really enjoyed it. And also, I've been watching the documentary that's on BBC at the moment, which is about the Columbia disaster, and Scott's twin brother is in that. So that also sort of prompted me to buy it because it's put me in the mood for more spacey books. This was also sort of BookTube inspired because Reed Becker said this is one of the Terry Pratchett. She listens to the audiobook quite a lot. But also this is the last City Watch Terry Pratchett Discworld novel that I haven't read, so it's a bit bittersweet finishing it because it's my favourite Terry Pratchett series, and this is the last one. Although I have a feeling they pop up in other books as well, so I'm sure I'll see some of the City Watch. And I also decided to get Equal Rights, which is the first in the Witches series of Discworld, which is the Watch and the Witches one and the Death ones are the most popular. Let me know in the comments what's your favourite, because I haven't read the Witches ones, but they've popped up in other books that I've read. I enjoy the Death ones, but not as much as the City Watch ones. So curious to know what people's favourites are, and also which of these two art styles do you prefer? I have a fondness for the old ones because it was the kind of series that got me into reading, and these were the covers when I was a kid, so I've got a lot of sort of nostalgia for these old ones. I've also had two books come in on my Kindle, which I don't normally cover, but I'll go through those. I think I want to start doing that. I'll start putting the Kindle ones in because it might stop me buying so many 99p books if I keep a track of them. Another one that I saw on BookTube was Unhinged by Vera Valentine, and this is an erotic door romance. Yeah, I saw this on Book Blather with Dave and Olive, and Dave said it was surprisingly good, so I'm going to save that one for Garb August. But you know, door romances, can't resist that. The other one was Claire Keegan's So Late in the Day, which is on offer for 99p at the moment, so I got that because I love Foster and Small Things Like These. I think that was it. Yeah, so the only book I finished, I finished two books. One was an audio book, which is Big Beacon by Alan Partridge. I'm not going to speak too much about that because really it's only for Alan Partridge fans. The books are fun, but they're not as good as the series. But if you enjoy the TV series, you'll love the books as well, because it's just, they've never done anything bad on Alan Partridge. It's just a brilliant series. And if you're an Alan Partridge fan, give it a go. My favourite Alan Partridge is still Mid Morning Matters, but this was fun. But yeah, the main book I've been reading over the last sort of week or so is Collected Works by Lydia Sandgren, and I spoke about this quite a lot last week, and I was struggling a bit, and I was wondering if it would save itself in the second half, and it kind of did. It's a very slow paced, character driven novel, which is good for me. I love that kind of book. But I was getting frustrated about how often it sort of repeated itself, in that it follows a character called Martin, and through his teenage and university years, he spends a lot of time going out, getting drunk, uh, uh, failing to write, finish anything he's writing. He wants to be a writer, but it's also spliced with him as an adult, and he's like 50 years old, a publisher. He owns a small publishing. His best friend Gustav has become a world famous artist, and his wife has disappeared. So it frustrated me that the the ebook for this is 850 pages. I think the paperback's about 600. But it was like 250 pages before he even met his wife, and the the mystery element of it is not really an important part of the book. It's more about the growth of the character, and in that way, it worked really well. It's brilliantly done, the way it contrasts him as an adult with being a single parent and running a publishing business, and sort of having to look after his throwback to the Door novel, Unhinged, best friend Gustav. So in that way, it was really good. I'm still really split about this, because I thought it was in parts brilliant, but the beginning of it still bothered me too much for it to be a great novel for me. But it is a debut, and I do think debut novelists often mess up the pacing and structure of their novels. Why an editor would not notice that, I don't know. But it also made me think about how I read books compared to people like Sean the Book Maniac and Joe Smith, the commenter, who also loved this, and the Evening Reader loved it as well. And I think Brian from Bookish also put it in his top 10. So trust them and not me. But they read, I think they all read on Writing Saying. I know Sean definitely does lots of books at the same time and in smaller chunks, whereas I read one book in big chunks. So maybe I noticed that repetitiveness and stuff more, and focused more on that than I should have, maybe. And they noticed how good the writing was and the characterization and stuff more than me. So that might be partially it, but I definitely would read another book by Lydia Sandgren, because I think she has got great potential. And on the page, I was never really bored. I was more frustrated by the plot rather than the writing itself. But yeah, it was very interesting, and I'm still in two minds about it. So yeah, I'd love to see what she does next. It'll be interesting. Yeah, apart from that, I've been reading. I've just started straight away on to Snuff, which so far has been, I'm about halfway through. A lot of fun, as all Terry Pratchett is. And every time I read a Pratchett, I think, why has it been so long since I read one? Like, he's one of my favourites ever. And in this, he's talking a lot about goblins. It's about Vimes going on holiday, and obviously stumbles into crime. And there's like a murder of a goblin, and someone's gone missing as well, and he's trying to solve it. And I just love the sort of cute way he describes the goblin society and stuff, and he just sentence by sentence level as a writer, he's fantastic. So I'll let you know how this goes. Let me know in the comments if you've read Collected Works and what you thought of it. Let me know which is your favourite Terry Pratchett series, and which of the artworks you prefer. Have a good one, BookTube.